Hello everyone, it's Carla here from Casey Creates. I'm just wanting to do a video just because I miss visiting with all my crafty friends, and I don't know really how everyone's doing. I haven't heard from so many or seen anybody do videos in such a long time, and like I've told you, I'm constantly busy doing all of my actual work with pottery and clay and teaching, but I'm on a break now for a few weeks and have been excited to get back to doing some crafting. And what's inspiring me right now is this crafter. Her name is T. Myers Handmade, and she upcycles clothes. I think upcycling was probably one of the first things I started doing in the way of videos. Now it's been several years ago, about 6 years ago, and I'm still inspired by it. For a while I sort of backed away because I was so mesmerized by all of your fabric lace journals and the lace and doily crafting and paper journals, and got really involved in that, and doing swaps and joining groups and watching other people and being inspired basically. And so I took a little break from the thrifting and fabric hauls, which is what I like to do. I like to go to the thrift stores and upcycle clothes. So anyway, lately I've been watching people upcycle I think they call it the Langen look, where you do lots of layers and ruffles, and you know, that's a beautiful look. It doesn't always lend itself well to the full-figured girls like myself, because a lot of layering and bulking, I don't know, doesn't always accentuate, but doesn't mean I don't love it, and I do think a lot of people pull it off really well. And so I just have my own look. I do what I feel comfortable in, what I like to wear, and so I've been thinking about doing some patchwork, funky kind of wearable art patchwork type jeans and vests and things to just add a little, you know, be a little eccentric, I guess is the word. And I was digging through my things, which was so much fun because I haven't gone through a lot of my crafting stuff in a long time, and in there I found something that I had made. This is probably like back in 2018, and many of you know Ruby. Ruby had a YouTube channel, Little Books, and if you ask me, she is still probably top 2 favorite crafters that I know, and the most talented, creative, natural crafter. And we had been doing swaps, and she was always sending beautiful packages of Happy Mail, and I took great inspiration from her work. And at one point I made this kind of a fabric swatch book. I don't know if I've ever shown this. It's falling apart now, but I had a plan to mail it to her, and when I went to the post office and found that it was going to be $80 to mail it, of course my plan had to change. And then I put it aside and I thought, well, I'll disassemble it and I'll make it smaller so that I can afford to mail it, and it just never got done. And so I just actually pulled this out, and I thought you might like to go through it with me, because what I'm trying to do is make my own fabric appliques to go on my upcycled kind of wearable art clothing. And when I saw this, I remembered I put some pieces in here that I think have really nice images. Let me get a drink of water, excuse me. Just have water today. I just finished my afternoon coffee. I hope you guys are doing okay, and I hope if you get a moment and you watch this video, you'll just tell me in the comments that you watched or that you're there. I would love to reconnect with a lot of you. Anyway, so this is the book. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, let me turn it this way. And this was just a page of pretty scrapbook paper. I think it was from a K&Co scrapbook paper pad. I can't remember. But anyway, I made this, kind of made a binder of fabric, kind of like you see in the upholstery stores. And this is even, or no, this was just glued canvas ribbon here in the middle. But I have to get organized. I got so excited and I pulled out so much stuff that it's kind of everywhere, and in order to craft, I have to have a little method to my madness. So anyway, I see that I've put like pieces of lace. The idea was that you could just flip through and find a fabric of your choice to use for your crafting. Look at this beautiful piece of tapestry. Now that I'm going through it, I think I did do a video showing you the different pages of this book, because I remember, remember Sweet Jeannie Dreamer? I don't know where Jeannie is. She may have said, and I might have missed it, but I was talking about this and I didn't know what it was called. And she put in the comments, it's polished cotton. And that's how I've learned so much, because I'll say, I'm not sure what this is, or I don't know what you call this, and so many of you would help me out and give me answers to my questions. And I kind of miss that interaction. So these were really cool. Oh yeah, look at this one. It's an embroidered pine cones and it's beaded. So I just must have decided to put some of the most special pieces of fabric in here. This was some colorful tatting. So now I'm glad I still have this. I wish Ruby was closer. I would definitely still want her to have this. Because I do have other fabric. This is one of my favorites too. All the autumn colors and rose print. And this is from Sari. Isn't that pretty? It's making me desperate to make some journals. I used to make gypsy journals and fairy journals, and if you want, you can go in my list of videos and look them up. If you just type the word gypsy or fairy or anything like that in the search on my video page, it'll come up. Look at that. Love those colors. And this is one of my favorites too. This was a jean jacket. Well, I don't know if it was a jean or a canvas kind of jacket, but it's really pretty. Let's do it this way, I think. Look at that lace. You know what? I think this was lace from one of my mother's dresses. That was one of her favorite colors, that dusty rose. And then look at this really delicate lace. So this must be the lace section. So oh look, I forgot I had this. One of the things she does is she cuts out these wonderful cabbage roses and vintage roses and uses them as applique, and she stitches around all of them. No glue, and that's my plan. I love this one. This was from an old pair of vintage curtains. I can't believe I've been out shopping for fabric. I think there should be a punishment for that. Considering all the fabric that I still own and I don't need another piece, but do we ever? Look at these Gerber daisies. I'll probably cut those out and use them. I'm sorry if the lighting is funky. I'm not sure why it keeps kind of going in and out. I remember this. This was a Vera Bradley napkin. It actually says Vera right there. And then this was a really pretty one I used to cut. I had fussy cut around it. And this was one that I used a lot in my fairy journals. And then we've got this real retro. So they got a little wrinkly in here, but they were in a bag. This was in a bag, so it stayed neat and clean. Well, clean, dust-free at least. That's pretty too. Oh, and look, there's a blue eyelet trim, eyelet lace. Anyway, so I'm glad to know what's in here. So I hope if you want to just visit, you'll help me go through some of this fabric so I can narrow down my choices for making the vest that I want to do. It's going to be kind of like a patchwork quilt vest. I think I said that. Let me show you some of the fabrics that I did purchase. I'm not going to feel guilty. It's just, there's never no need for new fabric. And so I went to Joann's and just got a few swatches. I knew I didn't want big pieces, and so I had to ask what are the smallest sizes they let you get, because I didn't want to, be insulting, saying, may I just have a little bit of that? And she said, oh, you can get as little or as much as you want. So I'll show you. This is my favorite cottage rose print. Look at this. And normally I don't gravitate to red, but I think that if you're doing patchwork, this will be really pretty mixed in with like a mint green gingham, or well, if you know me, gingham has to be on the patchwork quilt somewhere. And so I also thought I'm going to take, this is like a tree bark type of a look on the fabric. And so my plan is to cut out I think they're called anemia mushrooms, the red ones with the polka dots. And I'll just stitch my own and put a stem with a different fabric, just a plain piece of gray muslin or something for the stem, and quilt my own applique for mushrooms. So I'm thinking that on one particular garment I'm going to use these three, and I found some birds that are kind of watercolor in look, which I think are really pretty. Many of you don't know that I have an actual phobia of birds, and I've been terrified of birds since I was a child, and I know that's probably horrifying to those of you who are absolutely in love with birds, but phobias are a real thing, and it's just like people who are afraid of spiders or getting shots at the doctor. That's how I am with birds. But I am gradually trying to get myself out of that phobia, and I love when people craft and they add birds to their crafting pages, because I think there are some very beautiful birds, and I'm okay with the images. It's just when they're flying around me is when I change. So anyway, I'm trying to situate my fabrics in a way that I know exactly which prints I want on each garment. And I do love the pattern mixing and the kind of wackadoo styles that you can create. This one is really pretty. I actually just grabbed this one today while I was out. I bought the wrong fusible interfacing, and I had to take it back. And while I was there, I saw this fat quarter. Look at how pretty this is. So I'm not really trying to hurry through this. I'm just chatting and showing, and if you want to stay and visit with me, I appreciate your company. I love the muted tones. I love the soft pinks and the kind of golden yellow in here. So and it's very nature-esque and botanical in nature. So I'm going to set that one over here. Oh, you guys, look at this one. This one is all about fairy magical theme. Can you see that? It reminds me of Stamperia paper pad a little bit, but there's unicorn and deer and birds and owls and squirrels, and oh, I just couldn't pass this up. And all the fabric was on sale last week. Well, it's still this week, so I guess this week. So that I thought would make a really pretty pocket somewhere with just a border of lace trim. I'm not exactly sure how it's all going to pan out, but as soon as I calm myself, I'm always reeling at the end of teaching. My week sessions go for 10 weeks, and people probably think, oh, you teach art, how can that be reeling? Trust me, it's very demanding. It's a job that, where I work, they require a college degree, so you have to do a syllabus, you have to do the things that you would typically do on that level of education, and the people that pay to take these courses, they come expecting their money's worth, and I try to live up to that. And so when it's over, I'm quite exhausted, in a good way though. The energy level is so high, and so when I come down off of that, I feel a little lost unless I'm still doing something creative, and I don't want to do clay. I kind of want to depart from that for a little while. So anyway, here's another really pretty one, and I'm going to cut these out individually, and I thought they would look pretty, kind of cascading down the leg of a pair of jeans, or you could like layer in each individual flower with another pattern underneath it. So I purchased that one, and to me this one is super fun. It's cowhide, and I went on eBay, and I'll have to show you in another video, but they have these vintage cutout images that people used to purchase. I guess you could cut the fabric appliques and sew them together, and they make stuffed plush animals. Well, this one has a more modern type image, because I think I've seen it lately, where the cow has horns with flowers in the middle that looks like he's wearing like a flower tiara. Anyway, I'm going to try to incorporate a cow image somehow using this as the background fabric. I think that would be really fun. And then I found this one, which is really nice, strawberries, and this was in the area where they sell fabric for patio furniture, but it's really not that thick. It's a nice weight though. I think it'll make a nice applique, so I like that one too. And the only thing was I wasn't sure where I would work this one in, but it'll find a patch somewhere on one of my forms. So I've got that pile, and then many of you know I love to go thrifting, and I like to use fabrics and patterns on clothing, and this was a little girl's, I don't know if it's a woman's or a little girl's top. Anyway, it had these beautiful roses on it, and it was pretty cheap. So I've been carefully cutting out the roses on here, and I'm going to iron them onto some interfacing so that they won't be too flimsy. And then this is from a beautiful Ralph Lauren bed sheet. I've got an entire set of Ralph Lauren bedding that I don't use now because I don't have a guest room with the two twin beds. So I've had it for so long, and I thought I can part with one of the pillow shams. And so this beautiful floral fabric will be patches on probably some jeans. So that is pretty much the entire motif right here. But then I also cut out some of the cabbage roses individually. So I don't know, if you're a fabric person, maybe this is exciting to you. It's super exciting to me, all the different ideas of things. So I just kind of rough cut them, and then I went around and fussy cut them. And I didn't finish that one. I should set that one aside. but I cut out as many as I can so that the next step will just be to go ahead and pen them onto my garment and stitch around them. And like this one could go on a huge side. I do need to press that one out a little bit more. And then there are these. I found this beautiful brown fabric, which most of the background was brown, but I cut most of it off. Anyway, they have these floral prints, and this is very similar to the Ralph Lauren. I'm not sure if this is the Ralph Lauren fabric. I should look at the salvage edge of the fabric just to see who made this one. But look how vivid the roses are. They're so pretty. And one of the things that T. Myers does is her name is Tracy. She takes bleach and kind of weathers the images a little bit so they look a little washed and weathered and shabby, and I'm planning to do that too. So there are, I cut out several of this beautiful floral pattern, and I'm gonna be excited to use those. Then I found this beautiful tablecloth. It was like for an outdoor patio table, but the only flowers I really liked were these yellow kind of daisy shaped flowers. And so I just sat, and that was really relaxing too, you guys. This is something if you're just in the mood to unwind, let your mind settle. Sitting and fussy cutting can help. Sometimes fussy cutting makes people feel like they're going to go mad. So, I mean, it might not be relaxing for everyone, but I went around the entire round tablecloth and just fussy cut. And so now I can strategically place them on my garment, pen them all around. I think that's plenty, because I want to have a whole variety of fabric flowers. And I don't care if they don't match. You know, I think about, if you look at a garden, it's usually, especially if it's a wildflower garden, everything makes it all beautiful together. So these are from a piece of a drape curtain, and I just had so many pieces of it that I wasn't going to use for actual curtains. Look at that one. Isn't that pretty? My ring's all twisted around. What is that on my hand? I'm always paint or something that's not completely off. I do wash my hands quite often. There's another one of the Ralph Lauren bedsheet ones. And then here's some of the cutout birds that I showed you on the other fabric. This is what they look like cut out. Some more of the drapery ones. And then I found a small little pair of silk pajamas. They were children's. And when I walk in from the thrift store, the first stop I make is the laundry, and I throw everything in and wash it. And I don't always care about the washing instructions. I just want them to be clean, and if they damage somehow, then it's okay, because I'm trying to give, you know, clothing a new life anyway. So, but anyway, I threw them in the washer and dried them. They dried beautifully, and they were sort of a satiny, but I think they'll still work, and I love that these are brown. All that to say, there was only, how many? That might have been it. In the whole little, well, it wasn't whole, it was tiny pair of pajamas, but the flower motif was huge. So for that pair of pants, the only ones that had a full image of the flower, that's how many I got out of that pair of pajamas, but they were like $1.99. That's the back. I almost like the back better. but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers, and then I think I got 3 of the little buds. So I'm going to get started on putting applique and lace and things on my clothing, and then hopefully over the next couple of weeks I can visit with you and come back and show you my progress. That's another piece cut from the drapery, and then I think I just showed you the one. Yeah, these are from that little rayon woman's top, and these are the ones that are kind of flimsy, so I'm gonna have to put some backing on them to make them a little stiffer so that when I go to sew them they won't be difficult. So I guess I'm just going to show you one more thing, which is another idea that T. Myers, I think other people do it, but she's the first person I ever saw do it, is they buy pillow covers. And check this one out. This one is, what size? 18 by 18 square. I can't get the whole thing in the camera, but it's again my woodland fairy garden theme with the anatomy of mushrooms, and I'm just going to cut them out, and they're going to make really big applique on clothing, and I'm just hoping I can be as genius with the placement of these different things to make it look like something interesting and art-like instead of just a bunch of applique smacked on a piece of fabric. But look, I can cut out the butterfly by itself, and there's just several of these, and I think this pillowcase was like $8, so I mean it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't astronomical, and for the purpose I think it was very much worth it, because you can print on fabric, but it's not, you know, gonna go through the washing machine. Not the ink that I have, it'll wash right away, but these are pillow covers that you can throw in and out of the washing machine, so my images aren't gonna get damaged. So I'm excited about that one. And then I miss my friend Mary. Hi Mary, I don't know if you're watching, but when I see bunnies in crafting especially, I think of Mary. Look at these adorable guys. Let me see if I can get it a little bit straighter for you. Aren't they the cutest? And again, they're linen on, there's some kind of linen blend on fabric, so I can wash these, but like this would be one of the focal points on my clothing, whatever I upcycle. And if you see T. Myers, and I'll put a link to her channel, she uses a cat image on the front and the back. It's huge, but she's just got the finesse to make it work, and they are so adorable. This one is about 18 and a half, but he's so cute. I love them. And this one was even cheaper. I think this one was only $4.99, and because I got it from Amazon, I didn't have to worry about shipping, so that made it worth it too. So there's the bunny one, and then I've got this huge table runner, again to try to combat my fear of birds. It's long though, but look at all the wonderful birds. She incorporates birds into her upcycled pieces with applique, and so I think these birds are just the right size. It's really hard to know when you're doing it online and you're looking at it, and they do give the dimensions, but I'm still never completely sure, and you guys don't understand. I have come a long way to even want to add birds to my art. So I'm excited that these are so pretty and not intimidating to me at all. I love this one. I'll probably use this one. I actually like the cherry blossoms too. So this was a really long table runner, and for the price I think it was very much worth it, on top of the fact that I was given a gift card Amazon gift card, so I was able to use that. So I think that's all I had to show you, and the video is about 30 minutes anyway, but let me show you what I'm going to upcycle. The first thing is this vest, and it's pretty oversized. It's cotton, and I used to just wear it as it is. It's got these little printed daisy flowers on it, but it has seen better days. I wear it to work a lot, and I craft in it, and so it's got a couple little paint marks. I won't tell you, I tried to touch up the hair color and stained it on the back, so I'm gonna plan on doing some trim on the back, around the neckline, and put some pockets. So this will be the first item that I put patchwork applique on, and wish me luck, because I just want to make it fun and as exciting as it is to watch T. Myers upcycle hers. She's been doing it for years and years. You know what? I forgot I was going to show you guys this. So if you want to take another minute, these are those boxes. Remember when I upcycled these shabby chic boxes a while ago? Well, in this one I keep swatches of fabric that I had completely forgotten about. And in here are some wonderful prints of fabric. I've got all kinds of cottage rose print fabric. Here's the lime green gingham that I was thinking. At one point a while ago I did downsize, and so I cut a lot of my fabric just down to swatches so that I could keep them all in one place. And so I've got that in there, and then I've got these really pretty little table mats that are lace. Here's another really pretty cottage rose one. I do remember that during lockdown, one of my pastimes was going on eBay trying to find the prettiest prints of cottage rose fabric I could find. I've had this one for quite a while. It's a real lightweight, it almost feels like corduroy, but it's got a really pretty flower. I've got my iron plugged in over there because I plan on pressing some of these out. This one I bought at an old store in Wisconsin when I was home visiting, called Ben Franklin. I didn't even know they still have Ben Franklin, but that had a really pretty rose print. And then I did the same thing on Etsy and was looking for really pretty bias tape. So if you're ever looking for really unique bias tape and you don't know how to make your own, which was the case for me, I went ahead and bought some of that. And then this is a really popular ribbon that I used to find. I can't remember the website that I got it from, but it's really, really pretty. This one came from Ben Franklin as well. Really tiny gray background. I need a drink of water. And then I was hunting everywhere looking for fabric with birds, because I was just convinced I wouldn't own any of my own. But I did. Look at this one. It's got the prettiest birds. I'm not going to try to name them because I would be clueless, but you probably know what they are. This one also has little tiny butterflies that could be cut out. This one I've used quite a bit in my past crafting, with this really pretty amber background and then the roses. Love that one. And here's the Gerber Daisy napkin again. Gonna use that one. This came from a pair of children's pants, which was really cute. Oh, and this one. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I love this. I think it's a little pillow cover, but it is Humpty Dumpty. It might be other fairy tales. Oh yes, the Old Mother Hubbard. No, what's the one in the lady in the shoe? Had so many children she didn't know what to do. And that's Humpty Dumpty. I don't know if there's another one that I recognize. But anyway, love that. I think that would be a fun little kind of whimsical one to just throw in on a collage of patches, and it would draw people in and go, hey, is that Humpty Dumpty, or is that, you know, That's fun. This is really old. I've had this fabric, I don't even remember how far back. I used to see it in the fabric stores a long time, but I don't see this print anymore. But I love it because it's got the Eiffel Tower and the vintage letters, and then of course the rose patterns. That's pretty. I've got some pink gingham, a lot of pink gingham. Well, it's not a lot, but it's a lot considering I was only going to keep small swatches in this box, but just enough for what I want to work with. So I'm happy to know I have some gingham. I just haven't gone through this in so long. This was a pillow cover with the embroidered pretty flower and butterfly. There's a really nice butterfly. I'm gonna have to remember that. I remember this one from a girl's dress, and it's kind of a watercolor looking floral pattern. Lots of potential for that one. And then this is a typical fat quarter you can buy at Joann's with the keys. I don't remember where I found this one, but I do love it. It's got like those little, I don't know how they're bases, but anyway, it's pretty. I like the purple background, kind of regal looking. And then there's more of this one with the butterflies. It's my buddy coming downstairs. And then this one. I'll just show you this one. And then I'll get off of here because I've kept you long enough, but I love this one too. It's as vivid as, it's kind of vivid like this one. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed looking through these fabrics with me. I needed to revisit some of my stash and kind of see what I have, and it has definitely gotten me excited to get started on my crafting over the next couple weeks. So I don't know exactly what day I'll be back, but if you're interested in seeing my progress, I'll come back and show you what I've done so far. And I hope that you'll take a minute if you have time and let me know how things have been with you. Let me know if you've made any videos. I'd love to see them. And if I can inspire you to jump back in and get busy doing what you love, then I hope that works. And if you know of any of our crafting friends that have not been around, or you can update me, I'd appreciate that too. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll hope this doesn't take forever to upload, and as soon as it does, I hope you'll take a minute and visit with me. Bye for now.